A quartet of mutated humanoid turtles clash with an uprising criminal gang of ninjas. This is my review of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I believe the first time I ever saw the first movie of the 90s trilogy of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was when I was, I think, 5 years old maybe? I can't really remember. But yeah, it was around when I was 5 years old when I saw the 1990 version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I really enjoyed that movie when I was young, and I kept watching the original trilogy when growing up. And I believe it was around maybe when I was 8 or 9 years old when I stopped watching them. So as this year's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie was coming, I decided to rewatch the original 90s trilogy to just remember what it was like watching these movies and to review them. And I have to tell you guys that after watching the first 90s film of the trilogy, I have to tell you that I still think it's a good movie. The good points. The best thing about this movie, in my opinion, were the turtle suits. And I say that because during the time this movie was made, it was the best way to make sure like these turtles were believable when they were on the big screen. And I thought the suits were made well, since I thought that they looked as realistic as you could make them. Because on each suit, I saw that each of them had some sort of different personality to it. Like, I saw like different birthmarks on each of the turtle suits. I saw that some of them were a little bit more muscular than some of the other suits. I also saw that each suit was different with the shape or size of the head, the arms, the legs, or the body in general. Whoever directed this movie did a good job because I thought they did a good job with the scenes that were somewhat dramatic, with the scenes that were goofy, with the scenes that had action in them, and with the scenes that had both comedic and action value to them. Next up, I think that the writing was good in some parts. And I think the parts that it was at its strongest were with the origin and backstory of Splinter and the Turtles. Because you know, sometimes in origin stories they take a long time to get people to know the characters and everything. Well, in this movie, they just tell the origin of Splinter and the Turtles in like a short manner of time, in like maybe 5 minutes or so. I thought that the score of the movie was done well, because it sounded like something that would be in a Ninja Turtles movie set in the 1990s. And overall, I thought it went well with the scenes that it was attached to. The final good point I have to say about this movie is the pacing in this movie, because the movie was fast-paced throughout the entire movie, and overall I thought that it did a good job with the fast pacing, because sometimes, and there were times in this movie where the fast pacing was bad, and I'll explain myself later in the bad points in a second, but I thought overall it needed that fast pacing so that you could stay in tune with this movie. The bad points. I think the biggest flaw about this movie is the fact that the movie felt too short, and that has to do with the fast pacing I was talking about a second ago. Like I said, overall I thought the use of the fast pacing was good since it made you stay in tune, but other points it was like, maybe they should have done like a little bit more with that scene, or put more time in like in this section of the movie. Because this movie is an hour and 30 minutes, but after I watched it, it felt like it was just a 45-minute movie. Another bad point about this movie is that I thought that some of the fight scenes could have been better. And I thought that most of the fight scenes were good because of the choreography that were in those scenes. But I thought that there were a few instances where there was like goofy dialogue or comedy in an action scene that wasn't needed, like especially towards the end, because I thought that towards the end of the movie it was more of a serious movie. Another bad point is that at moments I saw that the mouth movements of the animatronic heads of the turtles weren't going along with the words that they were saying. And that happened several times throughout the movie, and I wonder why they didn't reshoot that like scene. Maybe they thought like nobody would notice, but it's pretty noticeable in my opinion. The only two other bad points that I have for this movie are that I thought that some of the acting could have been better in the movie, and I thought that some of the writing could have been better. And I think that the writing needed more improvement over the acting, because for the acting, I thought that just a few moments throughout the movie where the acting was, that could have been done better. But for the writing, I thought that the story could have been written a little bit longer. And I say that because of what I said before, which is the movie, in my opinion, was too fast-paced and it felt like a 45-minute movie instead of an hour and 30-minute movie. So I thought they could have written a few more scenes to put in the movie to make it feel longer. And they could have done a good job of writing more scenes because I thought the entire movie was written well. So my rating for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a 3 out of 4 stars. Yeah, like I said, the last time I saw it was back when I was 8 or 9 years old, and I haven't seen it since then, but after seeing it once again, I still think it's a good movie to watch. If you haven't seen this movie, I believe you should watch it, especially if you're a fan of this version, like the 2014 version of the Turtles. I think you should watch the 1990 version. So that was my review of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Hope you guys liked it. And other than that, guys, that's it.